Okay, so this is the second part of module 3. We are going to discuss about the forecasting as we briefly talk about. Yes, we have analyzed the industry attractiveness using a number of tools such as 4 or 5 forces, for instance, which is quite popular in terms of analyzing the industry attractiveness. Well, next thing that we need to look at is the forecasting. Okay, we need to forecast whether the industry is attractive or not. Why forecast? A number of things that you can offer. One of them is to make sure that we are entering the market, the correct market. Okay, so in doing so, since we don't know the future, we need to use we need to use the available information for us to forecast. Okay. So that helps us to understand more about the market when we do the forecasting. Okay. Therefore, one of the things that we need to understand is basically the market potential, the potential market. Now, please make sure that you differentiate the concept market potential and sales potential. Market potential reflects the potential of total consumption, okay? Or if you are launching a new product category, a new product if you're building a new product category, you are actually analyzing, you're actually calculating the total consumption in that industry. Okay. Now, sales potential reflects your own sales. Out of these total consumers, you may not get everyone to buy your own product, your own brand, because these consumers may also buy your competitors, for instance. That is basically your sales potential. So sales potential is actually reflecting the sales that you can get from the consumers buying your brand. Okay. In other words, market potential estimate is actually the starting point for preparing your sales forecast. Okay. And there is also the size of the currently penetrated market that we also need to consider if a company has existing sales in the industry. Okay. So if we look at the potential market, let's say this is the entire, if you look at the circle that reflects the entire market, which is basically likely demand, as we discussed before, for actual and potential buyers. So if you have the total population, like in Australia, for instance, 24 million people, we discount those who may not buy the product, the smartphone category, for instance. That means we discount babies, toddlers who will not buy a mobile phone, for instance, and we get this total potential market or market potential. Okay, and the smartphone category in here is basically what we call as a penetrated market. So that's basically reflect the ratio of the number of customers who purchase the smartphone category. Okay, here, based on this information, we have 42.3% market penetration. So, in other words, the smartphone category has penetrated 42.3%. Okay. Now, in research such as in biscuit category, the question may revolve around in the last 4 weeks, did you purchase or did you consume biscuit or not? So that helps us to understand penetrated market. All right, that leads us to what we call as the usage ratio. Okay, the usage ratio in this industry. Okay, how much the percentage of customers in the population who have consumed that product over the last purchase cycle. Okay, so that's basically the potential market. And there are many ways that marketers, or many approaches or techniques that marketers can use to estimate the market potential. Okay, the one that we show in here is basically what we normally label as market build-up technique. Okay, in this technique, we normally estimate the number of buyers or users. So you may look at the entire population, like in Australia, 24 million people. You discount those who will never buy certain product categories, such as chocolate bar. So you discount babies, toddlers, right, from the population. You discount them, and then you look at the potential buyers the number of potential buyers who will become your customers, potential customers, okay? And then you look at the usage habits, such as whether they are heavy buyers or not, mild buyers or low usage, okay? On average, then you estimate the number of units that they purchase, right? So when it comes to chocolate bar, for instance, then you estimate how many chocolate bars that they purchase in a week, and then you normally estimate it in a year, so multiply it by 52, okay? And then you look at the price or expenditure in Australian dollars, okay? So normally you look at price per unit. So let's say certain product categories, in certain product categories, customers, we have, let's say, 2 million potential buyers, okay? And on average, they will buy 1 packet a week, okay? 1 packet a week, okay? So that means 52 packets or units in a year, okay, per annum, okay? And how much is the price? Let's say we sell it on average $2, okay? Oops, $2. Okay, so if we multiply those 3 figures, 2 million times 52 times $2, we will get the potential market in that industry. Okay, so that's one technique. All right, again, as I mentioned to you before, this is not the only technique that marketers can use. Okay, the other techniques that marketers can use revolves around using secondary data. The other secondary data, such as industry data. Okay, industry data such as some market research agencies may produce ABI's World Report, for instance. Okay, ABI's World Report. Okay, they will report the total consumption. Okay, let's say based on their research, we find that the industry, the market potential is actually $1 billion. Okay, so that helps us to estimate our own market share later on. Okay, so that's another thing, in terms of understanding size of potential market. Now, the reason why market build-up technique is one of the popular techniques is because marketers may have problems in getting the information in certain product categories. So they need to be able to forecast the market potential, okay, by understanding the number of buyers in that market, okay. All right, what about if we don't have the information at all in certain product categories? Let's say we want to launch the product in overseas market, either in Asia, in Africa, or anywhere. Okay, we only know the number of the size of the population. Well, you can. One of the things that you can also use is to do the projection to the similar products. Okay, let's say you are launching a new a new device in the consumer electronic category, either in Africa, in Asia, or anywhere else, okay, and we don't have enough information, but we are already competing in consumer electronic in that market, okay, so you can use the current products to help guiding your market potential analysis, okay. Again, this is another one using segmentation. So here we say that internet users mean number of hours by age group in 2014-2015, basically. So try to understand the usage, the internet penetration based on the referring to the Australian Bureau statistics in those years. Okay, and we can also do some brainstorming session to understand the market potential of certain product category. Okay, and again, all information that we get from the secondary information that we can get helps us understanding the market potential, okay, including the trends that we look at, okay. Right, so that's basically understanding market potential. The next thing is, okay, that is actually the size of the total reward before we enter a new market. The next thing that we need to look at is the sales forecast. Okay, there are two approaches in terms of forecasting in a broad sense. All right. The first one is top-down approach, where the central person takes the responsibility in forecasting, and this person will do the forecast, and that will be adopted by the entire organization. The next one is bottom-up approach, where each part of the firm prepares their own forecast, and someone will do the aggregate forecast to create forecast for the entire organization. Okay, quite common in decentralized firm. Okay, so that is the forecasting approach. Okay, well, look, in real life, marketers may also use statistical technique to forecast, such as linear regression. For instance, they perform forecasting the trend using linear regressions. They have got the industry's revenue, for instance, or your own revenue, your own sales for the past 6 or 12 periods, and based on that, you can forecast the next 3 to 6 months periods. Okay, our friends in Statistic offer us with number of tools to do the forecasting for our sales in the next few periods. Okay, using linear regression is one of them. Using time series, using seasonality time series also help us to understand how do we forecast the next 3-6 periods, for instance. Okay. All right, so that's the one that I just mentioned to you before, statistical methods. I just discussed briefly about a couple of methods, okay, to do forecasting. We can also use observation. We observe the trend, okay, in the market, okay, and we implement that insights into our forecasting. And survey is not one either. Research, I would say that this one is basically marketing research that includes a quantitative and qualitative research. Some companies like Nielsen, for instance, offers basis tests to perform volumetric research to help us understanding the sales potential of a new product, for instance, okay, based on the consumer's acceptance on certain products. So we, in the research, we normally introduce the a well-defined product concepts with the price, and we also put in the research model, we also put in the distribution assumption and also the promotional acceptance assumption, and that will help us generating the volume of that new product. Okay. From qualitative perspective, we can also research in the focus group discussion the level of acceptance of new products. Okay. And in the focus group discussion, using in the qualitative research, using focus group discussion, we can show the product concept and discuss how good the product concept is accepted by the customers, okay, by the potential customers. Again, if we go back to the quantitative technique, some marketers, especially in the fast-moving consumer goods industry, normally conduct what we call as a product test or product acceptance test, okay? So they assign a group of people to bring samples of their product or invite the potential customers to their kitchen, for instance. If it is in competing, if the company is competing in food category, and introduce the new menu, the new recipe, the new product, and get the potential consumers to taste it and give feedback. Okay, give feedback. Okay, now the feedback is normally measured in mean score if we refer to statistical technique. Okay, or average. Okay, and we normally compare the mean score of this product to the previous product. Okay, so let's say last time we launched product A. Okay, we launched product A. The mean score was, let's say, 4.05. Okay, and we generate certain level of sales in dollars. Okay, and we are developing product B. Okay, and we look at the mean score of product B. Let's say 4.07. Wow, slightly better than the previous one. Then that helps us to estimate what kind of sales figure that we expect. Okay, so that's just a very rough ID actually. Again, this is a very rough ID, because at the end of the day, forecasting is still forecasting. You need some information to help you judging your own your own forecast. Okay, so analogy basically is another technique, judgment, and market tests, as we just discussed before. Okay. Right, so that's basically the key point, guys, in terms of forecasting. And there are several things as well in terms of advantages and disadvantages using each method. Okay, and that's basically topic for module 3. And if you need further help, please send me an email. Okay, bye.